It's Thursday night, Michael. It's the 22nd of September, 2022. So it's quite a good spiritual night for the twos. Twos are angel numbers. It's good. I mean, you're looking as suave as ever, young man. Let me tell you, my word, ladies.
I had to go. I had lunch then. Yeah, so yeah, it was. So I was down the seaside.
Whereabouts in the seaside?
I went paddling.
Whereabouts did you go, Michael? Whereabouts today did you go?
I went to Bexhill. And I went to the Cooden Beach Hotel. It was really nice, and it wasn't expensive either. So yeah, it was pretty good. Nice hotel. Looks all right, you know. It's empty. I can imagine it was like in the summer. It must have been banged out because they've got loads of places outside. It's right on the seafront as well, and still something calm. It wasn't very windy, so I had me out on, so I was doing my thing. I was having a
yeah.
But there you
Did you have your good lady with you?
What, darling?
Did you have your good lady with you?
No, she was working. I had to tie to the sink.
Oh well. Well, you've got to be careful nowadays. Wait, listen, Alex Belfield's just been locked up for 5 years for stalking. Now we're going to dig into that tonight because it's a bit deeper than what we're led to believe. For Jeremy Vine, he was grooming Jeremy Vine and his children. But did you see Philip Schofield and Ollie Willoughby jump the queue the other day when they're trying to see the Queen laid out in segways or something, gone flying through the crowds?
I didn't see it, but they tried to say. I did read something along the lines that they were saying things like, they were doing filming, so they had to get in the queue so they get the film. That's bullshit. I mean, David Beckham, he queued from 2 o'clock. What you didn't know about David Beckham was he had 12 bodyguards with him.
Unbelievable. So, what a country.
So he wasn't on his own. He was surrounded by people to protect him. So why would David Beckham need protecting? I mean, it just doesn't add up to me. It's just all this celebrity.
Well, he did slip rather easily into posh spice, so anything can happen.
We did. He did, yeah. But at least whether he went with bodyguards or not, at least he went, and he didn't just say, "I'm David Beckham, let me in." They were told to fuck off anyway. But I mean, Hollywood. Who are these people? They're nobodies. I mean, if they just got a celebrity, she sits there giggling like some stupid tart, and he sits there like some skinny prick. I mean, they've got no real talent other than the fact that they can read an auto cue. That's it.
I think all that is being seen now for what it really is, and I think they're showing themselves up in many ways. Schofield is just a man. Holly's just a woman. We're all just the same. No one's above anybody else. We're all the same. We shouldn't. Absolutely. I've never paid lip service or idolised any of these celebrities. I know a few celebrities, but I tell it how it is. I ain't interested in what they've got or what they ain't got. If they're nice people, they're nice. Chico, I know Chico, who was on X Factor and he done the Chico time. He's such a a proper nice fella, this one. Really, really. Mo's just trying to get in it. Mo, join it again, mate. We'll let you in. But Chico's just really nice. He's really down to earth. And they're the people in the world that I like, Mike. I don't like all these pretentious people that think because they got a few quid that they're somehow better than anybody else. And that's just the system that we live in. It's quite dirty, really, isn't it?
Hang on a sec. Is that if you're Florence Nightingale, light your lamp?
Yeah, he's going to need to rub his lamp a little bit. He ain't paid his electric. He can't pay his electric, can he?
Yeah, you saving money on power.
Huh?
He's probably on his boat. He's bought a boat.
Are you on your boat?
Yeah. Well, I'm buying my boat. Hang on, let me go on there and I can fucking light it up. Hang on.
Strangely enough, this afternoon I've been looking at lots of people that have travelled across the oceans single-handedly in their 24-foot. Let me just mute now. I'm making a lot of noise. Been travelling all these the seas in their 25-foot yachts, sailing with a little engine if they need it. And I tell you what, it's quite an ideal thing, to see them to do it. And they're pulling into Ireland and pulling into all these very exotic places. You can go and buy yourself a couple of grand, a nice 24-foot yacht, and you can go anywhere. I mean, obviously you've got to circumnavigate the Somalian pirates with the machine gun. Other than that, Mo, what are you up to, mate? I'm going to just mute until you stop banging around. But yeah, you can go all these beautiful exotic places pretty much for nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, I mean, I went to London Nautical School, and I
Yeah.
got O-level. I got O-levels. I got my O-levels. I got O-levels, senior ship navigation, and I did all that when I was 16. And
Well, you can be our new Uncle Albert.
well, it's all different now because the only thing they can do, a lot of people can only do directly navigation. You need the sextant, you know, do the sun, you know, equate all a bit of time and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, to be honest with you, the way I did, there was no sat nav there. I had to do it with an almanac. I think it's called Whitley or something like some almanac. The almanac, you had to look up the sine, the cosine, you had to work out where you were and pinpoint where you were on the map. And that was really difficult. It was for me. Until you get the hang of it, then it becomes quite easy. You know,
Look at Paulie Tidwell. He's saying Saga Holland is on a cruise ship for 12 months.
Well, that's very nice. not but I mean, so that was just a wasted education as far as I'm concerned. You know, but I mean, I got it. I mean, I used to have to do semaphore, Morse code, and all that tie knots. Yeah. And it was quite interesting. You know, I can row. Let's have a
little look around this boat, Mo. Come and give us a tour, darling. Give us a tour, look. And that lovely, look at that. Isn't it? Cool, he's got that song, isn't he?
Where's the first mistress? Our first mate.
Oh, I'm telling you, what? Hey?
That's the head.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely, Mo.
It's not bad at all, mate. And would you pay for that?
Ah, that's a secret.
Oh,
that's a secret.
So ain't yours, you nicked it.
Yeah, he's going just.
I'm going to call you fucking pugwash.
I got a deal. Put it that way.
Did you?
Hang on a minute, right? I remember watching years ago Del Boy, Only Fools and Horses, where they go and they get involved with the beers, the Dutch people, and they go out in these bars. There's Rodney, Uncle Albert, and Del Boy, and they're going around in circles. Now we've got a shipmate here because he's done a lot of nautical. He was in nautical school, so we could go out on our first round the world trip just to follow us in that. What do you reckon?
I think you could. Where's it located? Where's your boat located?
It's at the front side of my house at the minute.
It's on the drive at the moment.
Are you expecting a flood?
But
you never know.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Canvey to flood.
Are you having your bottom scraped or on what? What have you done there?
No. I've just bought it. I've just literally bought it, and it's got delivered, and now I'm putting all the neon lights everywhere, and updating it, and then it's going to get wrapped in like graphite grey and satin black. I've got to tint the windows out, and then she's going in the water.
Makes you wonder why not the windows tinted, doesn't it? Are you don't you? You're going to get masturbates and semen stains or what?
Yeah, there'll be plenty of that.
You're going to Roger the cabin boy?
No, none of him. No. Oh no, we don't want Roger the cabin boy.
Yeah. Well, you got to do something.
No. Jesus Jones is laughing his head off. He's going to tint the windows. Well, you got to in case the sun beats in too hard. You got to think of these things, didn't you? So have you got something to tow it to where it's got to be, or have you got big enough?
It's on a trailer.
Yeah. Have you got a Range Rover or something?
No, I've got someone else with a Range Rover.
Oh, okay. So how far are you from the water?
I could throw a stone at it.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's not far. You could. Right. So are you on the river or on the sea? Are you by the seaside or are you on the river?
Yeah, I'm Canvey.
Oh, you're Canvey.
I'm on Fraggle Rock. Yeah, Fraggle Rock.
Oh, are you? Oh, right, okay. I mean, that's all right because I can remember the 50s when that got submerged in a big foam surge. It was like 1955, 6, wasn't it?
That's why he's bought the boat. That's why he's bought the boat.
Canvey Island was devastated. It was part of the water, and a lot of people got killed there in the 50s.
Yeah, 53. What was it, 53 or 56? I think it was 53.
Yeah, it was 50. In fact, one of my friends, when I was about 4 or 5, 6, she drowned off Canvey Island. I mean, that's where London used to go for holidays. There's some holidays, Canvey Island, South End.
Oh. Yeah, all Clacton flooded everywhere, did. All the southeast coast, wasn't it?
And it was Janet.
But Canvey copped it bad. But we've got the best sea defences now, haven't we?
Jesus Jones says he'll get pulled over by the river police for tinting your windows.
Yeah, you know, don't you?
Yeah, they'll be up there, bringing the anal beads on board.
the amount of blue lights on here, they're going to think I'm the old Bill.
No, not the blue lights on there. As long as you don't put the red one. If you've got 2 ports, I think it's I'm not in shot.
It could be. Have we seen this? Have you seen there's a girl in a classroom now. She's been the school. I don't know where it is, but they're allowing her. She dresses up as a pussycat all day, and she walks around on her hands and knees, and she licks windows and meows. And the teachers have said it's okay, provided that she don't disrupt the class. Now, can you guys explain to me what is that about?
It's all the furries day.
I was distracted there. What did you say?
I said in a school somewhere this week, this girl has been allowed in the classroom, dressed up as a pussycat. She walks around on her hands and knees all day, meowing and licking windows. And the teachers have said it's okay if that's how she wants to identify, providing she don't disrupt the class. Mo's having a rummage around. I'm going to mute him a sec. I don't understand that. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I do. I think it's pathetic. I mean, to be honest with you, in America, you've got people saying, "I'm teaching you my pronouns about being paint."
What's a pronoun? No, it sounds a bit saucy.
And there's some bloke there that says, "I'm an owl." This is in America. They're owls. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, the whole fucking world's gone completely. The sanest woman on the planet, I think, was the Queen, has died. And I think all the nutcases have come out. I mean, it's just this world is going completely bananas. I mean, there's a man and there's a woman. That's it. Everything else, anybody else is either a minge muncher or a puff. End of. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. He's gone off screen now. I reckon he's gone to hide his drugs side up somewhere in case they was out on display. You know?
Just a line. Got a line there. Got a little line, have you?
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Like a Flintstone line. You know what a Flintstone line is, don't you?
No, none of that shit round here, bruv. Fucking hell.
See, a Flintstone line is about the weight of the ship, how it sits in the water, and how much weight you got on it. That's a Flintstone line.
Oh, Paul Tidwell, he's
what? Your draft?
You've got a draft on yours, haven't you? You've got a draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where
I got draft.
Like the maximum load.
I fucking hell, I ain't fucking loading up maximum load. It's only me.
You only want about, well, it would take a ton of coke, wouldn't it? So you'd be fine.
Yeah, I'm not saving no one else.
That or ecstasy, you'd be fine.
Anyway, we'll all be on the beach going, over here, Mo, over here. If you go and stuff you're on your own.
Nick, just so you're out of the South American economy, you'd be fine.
I'm going to come down to Thames probably next week and fucking have it all the way down to Richmond and go and sit down on the side, have a beer and that. Go down Richmond and jump off on the old pubs and that.
Really?
Come on, Martha.
Yeah, have it down the Thames.
Have you got any experience of water? Have you got any experience of being out like that?
Yeah, I swam to the buoy. I swam to the buoy and back.
There's no answer to that. Come we don't really want to know that.
Michael, I think we should go with him on his first visit, on his first trip. You should go, Mike.
Yeah,
come out with me.
I'm not your type. Is it a motor cruiser you got?
Yeah, it's well, it goes. It don't half go some though. It's got a 3 litre in it.
I had
3 litre.
I had a motor cruiser 40 foot in Tower Bridge in St Catherine's Dock, and I had 2 twin Volvo Penta engines in it.
Look at him, look in St Catherine's Dock.
Oh, he was, yeah, he don't muck about.
He's a lardy-dar, isn't he? No wonder why he likes the old Royals.
No, what happened was I bought it off a guy and he said he needed the money. He needed 20 grand. So I said to him, he said, will you buy my boat off me? It's worth about 180. I went, why do you only want to take 20? So I need 20 grand. They said, will you give me 20 grand for your boat? I said, yeah. So I said, so I bought the boat, it was worth about 180 grand. So anyway, but what I didn't realise, when I had a guy went down and looked at what's wrong with it, he needed about 70 grand spent on it. So, this 180 grand. Anyway, so I thought to myself, well, I'm spending the money here. Anyway, about 4 weeks later, I've got a guy just about to start work, putting it all right. This guy rings me, he said, I've gone to America and I'd like to buy that. I want to take the boat with me. I said, you don't own it. He said, but you ain't paid me all the money yet. I said, but you ain't here. I'll give you 10 grand. So he said, but I said, so I've got to give you another 10 grand when I see you. He said, how about if I give you 25 grand? That's 10 grand or 15 grand. So I went, done. He sent me 25 grand on the boat back. Yeah, it was a good deal. I'm quite happy.
That was a good deal.
Went like a bullet. It was really fast. We took it up the Thames. We got told off because it was going too fast because the bow wave was too you do 4 knots. Mind
your bow wave. Be careful. No more than 4 knots. No more than 4 knots.
Yeah. That's right. So,
mate, you want to tell that to the fucking catamaran that comes past, like the one that comes past Canvey, the big bastard. He fucking swept me and my mate out to sea.
Yeah, but it's different. It's different on the estuary. It's different. It's on the Thames.
Of course.
It's because of the bow wave.
No, but no. They're supposed to still go slow in that bit, and he come tearing ass through. And me and my mate was fishing on the point, and it was like December, freezing cold, and it was a proper high tide. Me and my mates, we've gone, fuck me, he's gone fast. Next thing, about 5 minutes later, this wake just come and just picked me and my mate up, slammed us against the sea wall, and took us about 30 foot out to sea. I lost all my rods, my tackle, everything.
How big was the boat? This was a big old fucking thing, wasn't it?
It's the big like cruise liner, but it's one of them ones that lift up and fuck off.
Yeah,
it's a
hydrofoil. It's a hydrofoil.
Yeah, hydrofoil one.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, and mate, the wake behind it nearly wiped Canvey Island out.
I'm just digesting me. I'm not telling you what's in that orange juice, but there's nothing alcoholic. Anyway, so. What did and you've never got over it? You're still suffering.
Oh, mate,
no, he's
I'm all right.
He can't have heard that. He's got a boat, hasn't he? He's got a boat.
Yeah. Anyway, while we're on the subject.
Anyway, listen, what we rather than just talk drivel, when we come in here tonight to talk about any hot subjects, what are we going to talk about?
Well, there's loads of things to talk about. I mean, the thing is, whatever happens in America happens here. What's happening in the Crimea, in Ukraine? I mean, let's touch on that because the Ukraine now is winning the war, and it can't help but win the war because the advanced technology we've got. I mean, when the Russians have got to go to North Korea, right, to buy weapons, and the Chinese are, they don't really want to upset their economy, because if we do to China what we've done to Russia, well, we say, that's it. No matter how much money they've got, we just say, well, fuck you. We're not going to buy any more stuff, and we'll make your stuff with slightly imports on it. So, I mean, and nobody really, they don't really import much because they don't, because they just don't, because they just don't. So, I think if we were to slap their import duties, a huge input, 100% on, to stop people to make Chinese goods so expensive, I mean, it's just extraordinary. Do you need a license for the boat? No, you don't. No, you don't need a license.
I was going to say something.
It has a certificate of seaworthiness, and you have to be proven that you're capable of using the boat in understanding.
I thought hang on a minute. I thought you could just get a boat and go and just learn yourself.
Not over a certain footage, you can't. No.
What about a 25-footer that Mo? Because I've been looking at 25 footers. Is it all right, aren't they?
Well, I'm not so sure because I think you have to understand. You have to understand which side. When you're going on to another ship, you have to understand what side of the boat you're going to go.
Port and starboard.
They can do that. They do that by making it look. Yeah. But I think you go to ports. You go to the port side of the boat. I can't remember.
Anything bigger than 60 foot. Anything bigger than 60 foot, then you start getting like navigation licenses.
Jesus Jones says, hang on, we're all talking over one another here. This ain't going to play while I'm the playback. This is going to be right gobbledygook. Jesus Jones says you need armbands just in case.
Armbands?
Yeah.
What? Armbands?
Well, being on a boat, isn't it?
Oh no, he's talking about armbands. He's talking about like water wings.
Yeah. I've got
anyway,
a bed.
So getting back to Russia. So we're talking about Russia and all that. So it looks like Russia is losing. They've just called up 300,000 troops on reserve. But Germany now, is now saying we are going to take in any Russian soldiers that don't want to fight and want to flee the country. We will take you in. So the Russians, an amazing amount of Russian young men are turning out with Germany, fully kitted out and everything else, saying we don't want to fight and we're not prepared to lay down our lives for some scumbag in Moscow. So there you go.
All this, where are you getting all this information from? The mainstream media?
You can just read it. It's out there on the internet. I mean,
no, what I'm saying is it mainstream driven?
No, it is mainstream driven. It's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, but mainstream. Look, Tony Blair said that Saddam Hussein had weapons of war, but he didn't.
Well, yeah, so, Tony Blair's a liar. We know that. I mean, this is the German government statement. This is the German government statement.
But that's what I've always thought to myself, right? Anything that mainstream dribble pumps out there, ignore it and look in the direct opposite. Look the other way. If they're giving you something head on, come in from behind it and strip it down. We know that, you know, our BBC and ITV and that, they're just habitual liars. They do nothing but lie all the time.
Yeah. I think, Mike, you need to listen to the Aussie Cossack, mate. Go on Telegram and listen to the Aussie Cossack.
I do Aussie Cossack. I've listened to it. I listen to all around the world. I listen to all the. I mean, in the mornings, all I do in the morning for about 2 hours is sit and listen to all the like. I don't listen. No, this to CNCB and CNN, because they are just left-wing dribble and they're anti this, anti that. Anything to do with Trump, anything to do with conservatism is the antichrist, and they don't, and they try to besmirch it. But let me give you an idea of that. There's a guy called what's his name, David Solomon, Dave Lemon. I think it's Dave Lemon on CNN, and he was talking to one of the royal commentators. And he was trying to be smart at her expense. And this commentator was sitting having this conversation. And he said to her, he said, now the Queen is dead, you know, and she was the queen of a colonial country that carried slavery, and you did this. It's time now for reparations. You're a very rich country. You should be giving like 24 billion pounds to here and 500 million pounds to there. And you know, and he said, I don't see why that you country as involved in slavery shouldn't make reparations. So she said, you're absolutely right. We should make reparations, but to make reparations, you have to go back to the start and see where it all started from. She said, where it all started from is Africa. And the African kings in Africa, rounding up their own men, troops they captured, people they captured from the indigenous populations in Africa, were taken to the coast, put in cages, and the men would come ashore. They never went into the African interior. They just bought what the African chieftains had in the store and bought them from them. They were then transferred across the oceans and sold as slavery, which was then legal. However, the point is, then she went on to say, so when you talk about reparations, you have to understand that the British government were the first nation by years to be the ones that banned slavery. Okay, they banned slavery, and what you have to understand is that Royal Navy lost over 2,000 men fighting the slavers to stop slavery. So once William Wilberforce had got that through Parliament and got slavery banned, the Royal Navy then took it upon themselves to fight the slavers. So when you talk about reparations, well, let's not talk about the people like you know, us as a nation. Let's talk about the Africans, because that's where it all started. And if you're going to start making reparations, then you have to start thinking about who you're going to make reparations to. Let's make reparations to the 2,000 men who died, families that fought the slavers, and they're the Africans. So why? That's where you start. And this guy from CNN sat in about 5 seconds, just go, and he went, "Oh, that's a very interesting conversation. Bye." And he made it, and it's all over the internet.
But that's
just say.
Yeah, go on.
Where's all this money coming from? We can't even pay fucking our electric, let alone reparations.
Oh, we're going to get to electric in a minute, no doubt.
So, like, I mean, do you know what I mean? Where's all this money coming from, Mike? That's what I want to know.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
yeah, we've only just finished, right, paying for the fact that we stopped slavery. It's not long ago. We've only just finished paying that. So how the fuck are we going to pay reparations now?
We're not going to pay reparations. We're not going to pay reparations.
Exactly.
They're not like. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, if you go back we've had this. If you go back to slavery, there's slavery going on in every country in the world. Like if you go to China,
Exactly.
they've got slaves. You go to Russia, they've got slaves. Go to Africa, the Middle East, everybody's got slaves. They treat them like slaves. They pay them $2 a week to do a zip.
As to cut their tackle off, make them eunuchs.
If you go to Cambodia, they used to get $1 a day. They lived on $1 a day. That's American dollar, $1 a day. So these people, they treated as slaves, and that's what slavery is. You know, when you're given nothing and you get nothing, all you do is work.
But we're all slaves because we're all debt slaves.
We're slaves. We're slaves to the pound. We're slaves.
You're slaves to the money, right? Now, let me share this. Right, I want to try and bring this show back on sort of track. We're dithering all over the place, which is fine. It's no problem at all. But the problem with it is we all suffer with confusion of mind. We are just confused to fucking shit. We ain't got a Scooby-Doo. We use this word "we," and we don't even understand what the word "we" is. We don't even know who these people that we say who are we are up to. We don't know what the British government, because we all seem to think that we're in this bubble together, that we're all working and pulling together for some amazing outcome. Well, it ain't fucking happening. It really ain't happening. We're not all in this together. We never are, and we never have been. So but we're not, are we? So I'm looking to take consciousness and people to a different place, so we don't place our faith in the mainstream system, the newspapers, the bullshit that comes out the news. Focus on something different and make something different manifest, and then we might just stand a chance of freeing ourselves and our generations and future generations to come. And this man here, David Higgs, is a classic example of someone that's freed his mind and freed his life, because he is as free as a bird. So all the time we're listening to the mainstream media and we're reading the news, it's fine if it's just for little entertainment values. But if we're genuinely taking the news and the newspapers as gospel, and we believe in their diatribe, we're living in a fallacy.
No, we don't. The thing is, Dave, it's how you dissect it and put it in perspective. We all know that the BBC is totally biased. It's got left-wing bias. We know CNN has. We know CNBC has. We know the only one in America really that isn't left-wing is Fox, and that's very right-wing.
But the point I'm making is focus on something different. If we all focus on something different away from, so look, take all the mainstream and put it over there. So all the mainstream, all the BBC, this all over there. Let's all go over here where it's all.
I can prove your point. I can prove your point. I can easily prove the point you're making. I can prove you're right, because what they've done in America, they got one of the best brains of these pollsters, and they went out and they asked over the course of years, and they said, who trusts the media? About 20 years ago, most people trust the media. It's come down to this. Mainstream media is trusted by only 14% of the population. And that's probably a fact. Now, if you say to anybody in this country, do you trust the BBC News? They'll probably say, no. Do you listen? And the BBC are still thinking about getting rid of their news program because nobody believes it. If you take something like Dr. Steve Turley, the guy in America called Dr. Steve, he's got about 600,000 people watching every day. Okay, now or most days. Now, if that's true, that Sky News gets an average of about 30,000 people a day watching. So why have Sky News? What's the point of Sky News? Because they're totally biased. When you get someone like that Victoria Derbyshire, who's clearly a communist, because all they want to do is try and prove that the Conservatives are the end of the world, that Keir Starmer is the beginning of the end, and everything else. So basically, they just swing one way. We, as a people, are now come to the conclusion that's all bollocks, because we suddenly realise somehow that we've actually got brains, we can make our own minds up. We don't need mainstream media to make our minds. That's right. We don't.
Not over here.
Exactly.
Over here.
We don't need people to make our minds up because we've now seen what government does through what they did with the 2 years lockdown. They've destroyed the country and the world that we knew and we could deal with. Now we're in a world that we don't understand and don't know what's going to be happening next because we've allowed them to take control.
They didn't, Mike, because all through that time period, myself and many other thousands of people have took absolutely no blind bit of fucking notice of it.
Not you, I didn't, Dave. What I'm saying to you is that the majority of people listened. I mean, everybody went outside clapping the NHS and protect the NHS. No, it wasn't the NHS that needed protected. It's us that needed protected from the NHS because the NHS now are a waste of space. You can't get an ambulance. You wait. I mean, what was it? 5 days. We can get you in 5 days. How can it take an ambulance 5 days to get someone laying on the floor dying? 5 days.
I wouldn't go with them anyway.
Eh?
I wouldn't get in the fucking ambulance anyway. I wouldn't go with them. No. You go there, that's it. That's your lot. That's your lot.
The first thing my mate, he had a car crash and they cut his suit off. They didn't take his jacket off. They cut it off. It was a Marnie suit. It was $2,000. And they cut his shirt off. And his shirt was like 200 quid. And his shoes, he took his shoes off, his Gucci loafers. They took them off, and then he never found them. Took his watch, he lost that. Took everything off him. It all gone, stolen. Everything was stolen off him. Everything, his chains, rings, the lot.
Well, all of what you're saying.
What the police said?
Nothing.
Well, that's what happens in hospital.
Yeah, because the scripture clearly says the time periods we're in. We're living revelation. We absolutely are. That's why I'm not big on all these fancy names and that, because you stand out now. You're just leaving yourself. You've got a nice big flash Bentley car or something. You're leaving yourself open to get jacked. If you're driving around a little fucking Fiat 500 that ain't worth nothing, no one's taking no notice of you generally. And
I'm
that's
not so sure, Dave. I'm not so. Look at this kid yesterday. This kid. I mean, this is where it all goes horribly wrong for me. They talk about they got a kid who was held down and stabbed by a masked guy and instead 15 years old. Right?
Where's that?
He's in Huddersfield. He's slammed on the floor and he's been stabbed to death by a masked guy. Now they arrested a 16-year-old kid for doing that. Now, when we were kids, all of us three, if somebody was murdered in this country, it was front page news. It was like the A6 murderer, James Hanratty, and all these people. A woman's been murdered. It was huge. Now you've got people murdered every day. Don't hear anything. Nobody gives a fuck. The police don't do anything because they're not interested. You've got who commissions the police. He's going to sort the Met out. Well, he ain't going to live long enough to do that because the Met ain't never going to sort itself out. It's totally corrupt. It's endemic corruption.
A mate of mine I went to school with got murdered in Chingford just not long ago, but because of his daughter. All these lot that come over, basically in Chingford and that, all like come round, started harassing the daughter, and he's come out, he's gone, get in you, come in here. And next thing, they've stuck a blade in his back.
Ooh.
Dead. Killed him.
They get who did it?
I think so, but it don't matter, does it? He's only a teenager, but they stabbed the grown man like in front of his daughters for nothing, for like saying, "Come in here," like, gone out there to get her in. They've hit him over the head. They're hitting her over the head with bars. He's gone out to get her in.
The thing is, the only way you've got to bring back the death penalty.
Yeah,
I would.
There's no other reason. The thing is, nobody fears anything. They don't fear the police. There's no authority. Children are out of control, just roam the streets in feral packs of rats. They can do it. They don't attack anybody they like and say, do how they can do it. And what do the police do if they bother to turn up? Nothing.
Well, because the thing is, they're a big, Mike. I like to try and bring these back to simple points. The police are a business. Their business is crime.
Ridiculous.
It all comes down, whatever discussion we talk about on it tonight, all comes down to money, control, money, and that's it. Nothing else. All these people coming in, this murder, his mate getting stabbed in the back. It's all about control. It's all about fear. It's about low vibration. It's about money. The whole system is sick. It needs ripping out. It needs chucking in a bit.
We live in a fascist state.
Properly.
We do. And because I knew we were going to talk about this day. I wrote something something down that Ronald Reagan said. Ronald Reagan was probably one of the best presidents America ever had.
Bingo.
I mean, he was very. And what he said was this: Ronald Reagan said while he was governor of California, he said this, and he said a man profoundly once said that if fascism ever comes to America, it will come in the name of liberalism. What is fascism? Private ownership or enterprise, but total government control and regulation. Well, that's the liberal philosophy, and it absolutely is. I mean, the perception that you're free and you're not, you're run by the government. The conservatives, the so-called ones, they're the ones who says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, let me have more control of my own destiny. And that's the difference between us and them. And that's so when all these people who run around sticking themselves to trees and sticking themselves to the road, what homes do they go back to? Do they go back to council flats? No, they go back to flats with the mortgages. They go back to houses that they own. So all these people, these so-called good do-gooders, I say to them, if you want to be this person, fine. We won't just fucking put you in prison. We will take everything away from you. You can go and be that person, but you're going to have fuck all. We're going to take the lot from you. We're going to take your house. We're going to take your money. We're going to take your fucking career, the lot. We're going to put you in a place that if you want to go and be these people, go and be it. Go and be it and have nothing. Have nothing. Don't try to bring us down to nothing. You go and be nothing. See what it feels like. To change your mind. See if it changes your opinion. But take everything away from them because there is no fear. The only way you get any sort of semblance of order is by fear. Is by fear of somebody coming up with a bigger stick than you've got and saying, you want to waggle this, mate? Look at us. It's like, Crocodile Dundee. That ain't a knife. This is a fucking knife. That's what you need. And that's what the government, that's what's happening in America. America has now got to the point where there's no law and order.
Another band's coming, Dave.
Eh?
Another band's coming.
Another band's coming. Well, look, what do we make? Yeah, look, it's dire, but we really, these shows should be about the solutions. What can we do to remedy this? Because if we think the police or politicians are ever going to sort any of this out, you're barking at the wrong tree. You're on the wrong island.
Unless everybody in this country comes together as one and all agree, and they won't do that because there's too many factions who want to destroy this country, like they're trying to do in America. The Democrats are trying to destroy the American state as it is. Now, you can argue that about America, there's this and everything. But when America is strong, when you've got a strong president like Trump was, China and Russia China would not be doing what it's doing, threatening Taiwan, and it certainly wouldn't, and Putin certainly wouldn't have invaded Ukraine. But they did because you've got some fucking tin-pot old tosser sitting in the White House who only thing he understands is when it's time to go for his nap and when it's time for ice cream. Because the man after time hasn't got a clue where he is and what he's saying.
Well, the English and the Americans like to wear their pants on the outside. They like to tell everybody in the world what's going on, what they got, what they ain't got, how big it is. But the Chinese are very different. And I would suggest that there's a big possibility that China probably is the superpower now because of its industry over the last 15, 20 years has gone berserk. We're buying Chinese products like it's gone out of fashion. And generally, they're not too bad. Can we stop it? No, I don't think we can. I think that China are very, very quiet. They don't start wars on countries, whereas America and England, we are. And do you know what? In many ways, I hope it comes home to haunt us sometimes because I think we need levelling, like the people of Germany were levelled when the concentration camps after it were all, and they was all told to go around and clean it up and go and see exactly what had gone on. And I hope that England and America have to pay a fucking massive price one day because we have been stenching around this planet like there's no tomorrow. And I think many of us should not hold our heads in shame, but we have to know that we start all these fucking conflicts. Iraq didn't start the conflict. Afghanistan didn't start the conflict. We started the conflict. We said that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. He didn't have nothing of it. I think Tony Blair should go on trial for war crimes. I really do. Really do. I'm sick of the way this country is. While our people are homeless, while kids can't eat properly, it's where's Mikey gone? It's just this, Mikey. You'll have to. We've just lost Mike, but we are at a point. You know, Mike, what do you reckon? Am I talking bullshit or what?
Well, as he's saying as well, no, you're right, but all these people, when he's saying that these people, like, he wants to take their things away and let them experience it, they'll bring communism in, right? Now, people like us, Dave, who's grown up with fuck all, and we ain't like all these lardy-da softy fuckers, right? We can handle their shit that comes, yeah? We can put up with it, with the hardship, right? But all these lardy-da, like, college, university students and that, when it all comes into play, they'll be the first ones that'll be speaking up and getting dragged out. Yeah, they'll be the first idiots to cop it. So they're bringing it on themselves. Yeah, and it'll be the hardy ones that will be the ones that will survive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, much sure.
Do you know what I mean? And then because communism will beat itself out. It always does. All this socialism coming. Do you know what I mean? The people like, look at Iran now. You seen Iran now with what's kicking off in Iran over when they've like the Islamic lot murdered that woman over the hijab, and now they're burning the place down. All the Persian lot, they've had enough. They've had enough, and this is what's happening. So you keep them pounding someone into the ground, yeah, they'll rise up eventually. But before everyone rises up, it'll be all these lefty soft lot will cop it the hardest. They will be the ones that will cop it the worst.
Yeah. Hugely so. And mate, I'll make you right there. I've said that for years, that the lovely lefties will be the one that cop it first. They really will.
Yeah, all these ones that drive around in their Teslas and all that, and oh, I've got a Tesla, and oh, I've got a 4-bedroom fucking mansion, and oh, yeah, bollocks. You wait. You'll be the first fuckers when they come to take that off of you, and then everyone's in the same shit. They won't like being in the same shit as what we've grown up through. They won't like it.
No, they won't. I mean? Yeah, guys and girls at home, we've just lost Mike. Hopefully he's going to try and get back in. He froze for a bit on the screen. I thought, is he frozen or is he just listening? And then his connection went. But hopefully he's trying to rejoin the show. We've got Alan Merritt in the chat room. Spear throw. We've got Roy Pierce. Nice to see you, Roy. Davey Swift is in there as well. Sonia's in there. So yeah, same old faces. But look, it's beautiful. We're not streaming out to Facebook tonight either. I've lost that connection. They've shut that profile of mine down. I'm pretty much done now. I've been speaking and cracking on for years. And to what avail, you know?
Well, I've got to the point, Dave. I've give up, mate. I just know that you got to just sort yourself out. You've got your few around you, like your close friends and family that are on the same sort of wavelength as you. I've got a lot that ain't on my wavelength. Yeah, and at the end of the day, the way I see it, it's all going to go tits up. And I'm sorting myself out. I've got enough, and I've managed to get enough. So when people do come to me and they're desperate, I can go, there you go. So, but other than that, this is why I've got the boat and everything, Dave. Because if I need to like just fuck off because this country's like going tits up and you can't get out, I'm off. I'm off.
I don't blame. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I've been watching some lovely videos. Yeah, Micah.
Well, look at Leicester. Have you seen like Leicester and Birmingham and all that now with the Hindus and the Muslims? They're having their own jihad in our country. They've brought it all over cricket, all over cricket the other weekend, and now we have got like basically a religious war going on in a Christian country, and it's not even our religion. It's nothing to do with us.
No, it's very.
What have we imported? What have we imported? It's mayhem. All that's been imported is just pure carnage. Like
you say, the left, or whatever it is you want to call them, the people that are, well, you've got to. I mean, I'll never forget years ago, I phoned Maidstone Borough Council. There was something going on next door with whoever, and this woman at the council said, well, you've got to understand what these people have gone through. And I went, love, are you for real? What? And at that point, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you might be taking this attitude now, but at some point in the future, when your families are getting murdered, stabbed, and pillaged, you might think twice about why you didn't do anything. Or
your little granddaughter's getting groomed and raped and whatever else. Do you know what I mean? It's just beyond. And it's not like I'm not racist at all. I am not racist. I've got friends from all nationalities, all religions. Do you know what I mean? And it's not the case of that. But when you're bringing in something that wants to eradicate and push you out of your own home.
Got backfeed from Michael. Sorry, you go on, carry on.
Do you know what I mean? That's not good. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want to go and push these people out of their own home. I don't wish these people any harm at all. Do you know what I mean? But when you've got people that's coming over here that openly hate you, because the main thing of what our government and their policies have done through the last 50 years, do you know what I mean? Well, say 80 years now, really. Do you know what I mean? Because like the way we went through Jordan and all that in the Second World War, and like we was just fucking running people over in tanks and whatever else because they got in the way. Things don't stop the convoy.
I thought
that was Peter Andre that went through Jordan.
Now, yeah, he did make a tip.
No, my uncle was a tanky. He was a tanky going through Jordan. And they don't. The convoy don't stop for no one. If someone runs out and they go underneath a tank, that convoy is not stopping.
Well, I'm going to say, first of all, Jordan's always been very good to this country. King Hussein of Jordan was a great African. Was educated here, went to Sandhurst here, and his son did too. Most of the guys who were running their countries who went to Sandhurst, absolutely. I'm going to call you Geordie, but I mean, where we never really had fought in Jordan since. I can't think we've been there since in any capacity militarily since the first.
It was in the 50s.
Do you know what? Right? Really? Do you know what? I would like anybody that works in the system, the police, anyone in MI5, CI, whoever you are, if you're concerned right now about what is going on in this country and you're concerned about your families, your loved ones and their futures, why don't you even ring in anonymously? Just ring in, don't put your face up and talk to us about what's going on and what you feel. If you're on the front line and you're working in the police, why don't you come on the show at some point? Just come on, be anonymous, block your voice out if you want to, and tell us what you're seeing and how you're feeling, because we're all sat here talking about this, but I want to know what must be going through their minds as well right now, because they're seeing this play out, right?
How are we going to know what they're saying if he blocks his voice out?
No, not blocks his voice, but you can
disguise the voice.
Disguise your voice, yeah. Disguise. So if you're in the police, if you're in MI5 or you're in the civil service and you can see what's going on and you want to speak out, we know, like there's Hayley, she does a channel on YouTube. She's had bailiffs that were bailiffs have left the job. They've come in whistleblowed about this and that and what bailiffs can. Maybe it's time that we had people from the system, and tried to include them. We're always inclusive anyway, but let's pull them in. Let's try and get them in to ring in and talk to us about their heartfelt concerns. Because if I was in the police right now and seeing what's going on, I've got to say I'd be very, very concerned about what goes on. Are they just robotic droids? Are they devoid of spirit and energy and love and compassion, that they don't pay no attention. They just see all the death, the murders, the rape, the pillage, the kids being abused, and still turn it off and go home and have their dinner of a night and sleep.
Well, they've got to be, Dave. They've got to be. To see what's going on in this country, right, and not hand your badge in, right, in pure disgust, right, and especially what went on through COVID. If you've watched that and carried on doing that job, you are pure robot. Yeah, you're indoctrinated. You're just a sheep following orders that's willing to stamp it over every other human being. That's the way I see it. And there ain't one good of it. Like, none of them are good. The way I see it, if you've gone through that job and kept in that job through COVID and watched what all this government has done, lied and everything, and you're still doing that, like doing that job, knowing full about all the grooming gangs and everything, mate, like you're just beyond it. Because I don't care how much money you get paid and whether you got mortgage. I'd go and shovel shit rather than do that.
Same as, yeah, same as. Well said.
My morality, do you know what I mean? I couldn't do it. Could not do it.
Well, that's what the police
I'd rather lose everything. I'd lose everything. The house, the mortgage, the lot. I'd rather lose the whole lot than do that. Put my soul through that.
Well, the police do shovel shit every day, don't they? They shovel their shit around their own police stations. They do menial tasks like come and assist bailiffs and harass people while walking down the street, filming walking down the street. You know, why are you doing that? Well, what's it got to do with you? Well, I'm making it my business. What have I done? Well, I suspect you of a terrorist crime. This is what they. Your car.
Well, yeah, all them audit ones. I watched them. I watched them audit ones, and you just see the way, like, just the way these people are, and they're just like, you know, they was bullied at school. Do you know what I mean? And now they've got that little bit of authority. They think they've got that. They ain't got shit over you. If you don't let them have this authority over you, do you know what I mean? And don't let them like move on you. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you just got to shut these people down. Just leave me the fuck alone. I ain't done nothing. Have you got anything that I've done criminal? If not, I'm going to sue the shit out of you personally. And you just go on with that.
Who's that? Who's that one of my exes, isn't it? Is that my ex?
Yeah. No, that's what you need. That's what you need to. You want to buy one of these pups I've got coming. You want something to look after you.
What is it?
They are South African Borbal, South African Borbal cross, American XL Bully cross.
Wife's back.
Yeah, cross like American Bulldog.
We love the girls. Gabby Grayitz is in. Gabby Grayitz. What a beautiful profile name that is. Nice to see you, Gabby. Let's have a little wave to Gabby. Come on, have a little wave. We're a friendly show over here. Look, come on, Mo.
We're very friendly chaps, aren't we?
He's waving. Mo, you got to wave off Mo. And he weren't on his boat. As about that.
Yeah, well, he's doing his flag signals. A, B, C, and all this. You know, those flag signals. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you do it? Yeah. I can do. I've got lots of signals I give the police. But we're not well. Anyway, or most people, sorry.
I know one thing. I'm not going to put the fucking Union Jack on the fucking boat. I know that much.
Good.
I'm not supporting them bastards.
Well, you should have both. You should have the ensign, the red duster, like the red ensign, which because you're not a military boat, so you have the red ensign. Then you fly the Union Jack. I've got it. I've got the red, the red flag with the Union Jack in the corner. Red duster.
Yeah, I ain't having that.
No, but get back to the police for a moment. The police's problem isn't the police themselves. It's the people leading who are not. They're not policemen like we used to know. They are social workers. They're more interested in pronouns, like diversity, not upsetting people. I identify as a woman. So some scumbag can walk. I can walk into a ladies' loo and say, "It's all right. I'm a woman. I'm dressed like this, but I'm a woman. I can do what I say," and they can't do nothing about it. So I can walk into a ladies' lavatory.
Oh, right? We've lost Mo. Yeah.
He's got to walk into a ladies' lavatory to see if he gets away with it. But and that's the fact. So there is nobody out there prepared to stand and say, "Fuck you, you ain't coming it." I'm going to go and give him a right hander, because that's basically what it's going to come
to. Now, Mike, they come round to check your thinking now. If what happens is, if you go online and you start being a bit voicey, and then sometimes whoever's thinking that you've gone a bit too far, the council ring the police, because the police work for the council, and a lot of police now are operating out of council buildings. Exactly. And then what happens is they turn around and send two officers round, or constables round, to knock at your door, and they go, "We've come to check your thinking." Now, what's all that about? You can think what you like, right?
I'll tell you what's in America right now. The new thing in America right now is pretend babies about this long, about 8 inches, 10 inches, and men sticking up their arse, okay, so they can feel the pain of conceiving a baby. They're plastic, about this big, and they look like kids. They're being delivered, and they stick them up their arse. And I kid you not, and I saw pictures of it. And I thought,
it won't go up my bum. It won't go up my bum. I've got a Massey's hero.
They are black.
Mine's like a Massey's hero.
Chinese, all the colours of the human races. You can have anyone you like, and this is so men can deliver a child. Know what the pain of delivering is. I mean, for fuck's sake, all you got to do is bung yourself up for about 2 weeks, and eating loads of steak, and stick something, and then take a massive dump, because that's about all you're doing. And
Mike, Jesus Jones says, "What sites are you visiting?"
Do you know what I mean? Where's he getting this from?
Well, that's what you.
Where'd you get this from?
It's in America.
Is this true, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely true.
I've heard of the Pet Shop Boys, but you're taking it to the extreme now.
Absolutely true.
Rubber babies up your bum?
Yeah, stick them up.
No, I've seen it on Facebook. Yeah, I've seen it.
That's it.
Yeah, no, I've seen it on Facebook. And that's a good song. Cayman's up here. The devil went down to Georgia and got his ass kicked and played the football.
I think it's time to launch my boat.
That's a great song. That's a great song, Cayman. Great song.
He's launching his boat now. We've got to get a bottle of champagne to see him.
No.
Fucking hell. I've seen it all. That's it. I'm going out to sea. You've just done me in, Mike.
No, it's true. He's not lying. Someone posted it on Facebook.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. He's done me in. What's happening in this world? Because they're going to be doing it over here next.
Oh, but you can't.
If they're doing it in America, you've only got to leave it 3 months, and they'll be doing it over here. So I'm getting the boat in. He ain't like.
Here's the thing, right? You can't. Here's the thing. You've got to let it. It's acceptable. These things are allowed to happen because these lefty what's all that about? Why is that even a thing? Why is that even in someone's mind to bring that? What's that all about? I don't understand it.
If you go on Titus Ellis Smith in America on YouTube, Titus Ellis Smith on YouTube, you'll find all this stuff. He does lots of shorts. He's a black guy, and him and his brothers just merging. They got 1 million followers between the two of them. 1 million people follow them. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Titus Ellis Smith and his brother, and he's a conservative. He's a black guy, and he doesn't understand. And so when they do the interviews, they send people out doing interviews. And they go, "What do you think of white supremacy?" And these all white people go, "No, it's disgusting." Or whites said, "We should be, all this." And when you go to a black man, the guy says, "What are they talking about? What do you mean? What do you mean?" And black people are so not in tune with this fucking stupidity that, well, we've got to be ashamed of being white. I'm not ashamed of being white. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm pleased to be English. Get a hobby. I've got one. I can't talk to you about it online though.
Yeah, but Mike, it depends who you talk to, mate. Right? There's people in tune with us, right? Of all nationalities, all colours, and everything. And then there's people in tune with the left. that are all nationalities and all colours. So you're going to get black people that actually believe that they're being suppressed, and all white people are white supremacists and all that, and they've got to kill every whitey, because there's people that believe that. Do you know what I mean? There's like, do you know what I mean? But then there's white people that believe that.
What homeless people said might get a hobby. What would he recommend? What would you recommend? Only something.
God, now,
nothing too tacky. Nothing too
now
tacky.
you've opened up a can of worms. There was a woman. I think she took her son last week or whenever it was to see the Queen being laid at rest. And I don't know why they didn't take old Madge up past the crowd that's 24 mile long, rather than everyone walk past her. But this woman said she took her dead mother in her urn so she could see the Queen being. And I'm just like, what's that about? I don't understand.
It's a bit macabre. Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you got to let go, haven't you? I mean, the thing is, I mean, the Queen's dead. I mean, they were
Hey!
They were saying that her body probably may not even been in that casket. You know, and, who knows? But I have to, for me, I think it's probably, it was watched by they went over 5 billion people around the world watched that. I think it's the most watched thing ever on the television. The Queen.
Do you reckon they shift back into the reptile when they die? Do you reckon that's it? Do you reckon they shift back into their reptilian form when they die? Do you know what I mean?
No, I think you just become. I mean, you can't. I mean, we're energy. You can't destroy energy. You could destroy with just a shell.
No, the royal family, not us.
Well,
do you reckon that's why she weren't in the copping? Because she's turned into a reptilian.
You've got a vivid imagination. And no wonder you're going to see, talking about reptiles.
I've been watching David Icke. What are you talking about?
David Icke's. I used to speak to Dave a few years ago. Well, quite a long time ago, when he started out a thing called The People's Voice. He wanted me to go up to this. I think it was Shepherd's Bush Way or wherever, to do some bits, and I weren't overly interested. And lo and behold, he's got everybody to donate £1 or £5 or £10. And then within a year, I've got a friend of mine's ringing me up because he went and worked for him free of charge as a charitable thing just to get this thing up and running. And he said, Dave, he said there's 72-inch flat screens flying out of this building off the wall. He said because it's gone bankrupt. And it went bankrupt. And bless him, David Icke tried to justify it. Now, to me, he just mugged off all the people. He just mugged off all the people for 350 grand, and it just fell flat.
He's from the BBC. If anyone's from the BBC, I don't trust them.
Hang on, while we're talking about people like doing things noise, you're going to talk about Alex Belfield.
Yeah, no, Alex
from the BBC.
Alex was from the BBC.
So what do you know that we don't know? What is it you're prepared to?
Well, the media's turned around and said that he's been sent to prison for stalking Jeremy Vine online. But it's a little bit more deeper and a little bit more sinister than that, because apparently he was carving out photos of his kids and sending them to him in the posts with some quite wickedness on them. And I'm quite surprised that Alex Belfield chose that route to go down. Or is this Alex Belfield thing just another psyop? Is it just another confusion? Is it just another distraction? And in many ways, I think to myself, it probably is. He might be out on a nice island somewhere having a nice holiday. I don't know. But I don't understand why Alex Belfield, this man that was quite clever, intellectual, maybe had a bit of wisdom about him, why he would ever do that and think that it was acceptable and he would get away with it. I don't think he was the type to do things like that.
He did make a lot of money out of it. Huge amount of money. And then you see him in Las Vegas, and then you see him here, you see him there, all over the place. And I take a view on that because while we're sitting there like he's living it up in fucking Las Vegas. Well, he said he had no money left, and all of a sudden he's in Las Vegas living 5-star drove me first class. Who paid for that? Now, as far as I'm concerned, Alex Belfield, I found him entertaining at times. I found him, very penetrative. He got through to people. He upset a lot of people who needed upsetting. But I think in the end,
fucking Blackpool. When he was at Blackpool with that dildo, that was fucking hilarious. Though I did laugh at that.
Well, there you go. And the other thing, he was doing the show with Katie Hopkins. Another one. Well, I got, but because it's become repetitive and boring. They got no way to expand on what they're doing. All they can do is sit and criticise. There's no creativity about what they do. I mean, we sit here talking, chewing the fat, and doing whatever we do, but we do also at the same time try to be constructive and try to put another point of view. These people only destroy and take apart what the bad people are saying, but they don't do anything really constructive to put it in its place. So it's like saying, let's burst the bubble, but what are you going to replace? What are you going to replace? You know, so it's all very well. Like we sit and we talk about what's bad, and a lot of things are bad. But you know, it must come a time when we say, well, you know, we keep detracting from from the status quo, if that's what you want to call it. But what are we doing to make it better and to make it? Because nobody sees me doing anything. We seem to sit and criticise. Everybody's trying to do something, perhaps, like Liz Truss. Supposing she pulls off this. Supposing she pulls this off. You know, we'll sit and say she's fucking useless. But she has been in most cabinet positions. She's been in the Treasury, she's been in the Foreign Office. She's done a number of positions. So she's very well qualified to be Prime Minister, more so than Boris Johnson, who was just Mayor of London for a few years. So I mean, so she has got. So we have to give her all the moral support we want. Now the problem you've got here is that the people on the left don't want it.
I can't give any politician any more.
No, but while we're in a shit state, every politician shouldn't be trying to detract and say, "Oh, what they're doing is bullshit." But they're in no position of power to do anything. There's nobody saying, "Well, let's have a consensus. Let's not have let's opposition for you when you're wrong." But let's all.
Can we not just shut the place down or walk our own path and make everyone free and equal again?
We talk about that, and that'd be great. But at some point, you need someone to raise money. You need someone to pay the troops, someone to pay the nurses, someone to pay, you name it. So I mean, someone to pay the pensions and the family allowances. So someone's got to do that. So you know, so while we sit there going, fuck the government, and absolutely, and I'll be the first one to get rid of them. It's who do you replace them with? Now the man
yourself. You look after yourself. You look after your family. You look after your friends. Right? You don't need a government. You don't need a government.
You don't need a government.
Mike. You don't need no fucking king, no queen, none of that monarchy bullshit. You don't need a government. You look after yourselves, right? There is people out there that know medical stuff, like doctors, things, right? When you're like that, like life, you've got to pay for things, right? Okay, but when you're not getting taxed,
be objective for a moment. Just a moment. Just bear with me. Be objective, right? Now, like, there's no government. Okay, no government, no army, no police, no nothing, right? Nothing. You just got to look after yourself.
Nothing.
So we all got to arm ourselves, right? So you can't walk down the street being robbed. You can't say.
No, it's not the case. It's not the case. It's not the case. It's society.
We've placed our faith into these people, and they've let us down. We're at a time period. We are at a time point in history where we either sink or swim as a people. It's now time to all pull our big boy pants on and walk our own paths, and to get rid of this hierarchy. There's a hierarchical system, and it's all about nothing for you, plenty for them. We're done with that. We don't. Look. We go. Hang on. No, we go back in history. We go back in history to a time period in this country where money was so debased and devalued that it was never often spoken about. People foraged. People done this. The army was still there. They still, but people got back to their moral compass because they stopped their fascination with this paper currency. Money was so worthless, and it just people just got on with their lives.
Dave, that's not true.
It is true. I've got the historic facts to back it up with.
I can go back as far as you like. I can tell you this: the Romans. You take the Romans. How did they pay their troops? They paid the troops in silver and salt. Okay, that's where you get the word salary from. Silver. Okay, that's what it is. How did the Egyptians get on? They paid in gold and precious metals, and everybody pays one way or the other. You have to pay
that monetary system was backed by gold and silver, which is the only commodity.
What I'm getting to today is, if you're going to have that system, who's going to control the money?
You need to get this.
Hang on. How do we, as a nation, we say there's no government here, no government, but there's governments outside of this country. There's governments in Germany.
Why do you need money, Mike? Why do you need money? Why do you need money? You don't need money.
You haven't got a proper. Hang on.
You don't need money.
You haven't got a proper government now. Anyway, you've got a corporate load of bankers that are sitting there. I agree with you. I know. So the point is, how long do we kick this can down the road until we all go, actually, this ain't working out very well for all of us?
It's what the thing is, Dave, it's what you replace it with. It's not. It's fine to say let's give it to the government. We'll look after ourselves, but we can't look after ourselves. We're not now used to looking after ourselves.
No, speak for yourself. Speak for yourself, Mike.
Hang on.
Right? Because there's plenty of us that can look after ourselves.
Yeah. Can you?
And if there weren't no money, do you think I would starve? Do you think I wouldn't get what I need to get if there wasn't money?
Yeah, you see, you're talking about a hypothetical situation that can't exist. I'd like to think it does exist.
What do you mean it can't exist?
It's what we'll go back to. It's like me saying, Dave, I need you to come and fix my plumbing, right? And I say to you, look, I can't. We don't do it in money. I say, but what I will do for you in respect, I will do this for you, or I've got this. Will you accept that as to say you will do?
Yeah, it's called barter. It's called bartering. Exactly. So why do you need money? Why do you need a government?
Because suppose we run out of chickens. Suppose we run out. I mean, what do you keep bartering with?
You're like your own labour, your own. You know what I mean? There is always something. You're never going to run out of chickens, are you? If you're.
We've got 1 minute left. We've got 1 minute left.
What about when you're too old to do that?
Well, that's where you have your family. This is where you go back to tribal.
You've got no family.
Well, you're fucked then, ain't you? Well, you're fucked, and then you like. Do you know what I mean?
That's where it falls down.
Huh? No, but you don't, do you? Because you've got community. You don't need all this. If people live by a moral compass, you don't need all this, Mike.
I agree. I'm on your side, but I'm also trying to be objective to show there's another side to the story, and there is. The problem you've got is we are now not prepared to live that world that you.
But if we carry on this same system and the same way it's going, it's never going to change. We're always going to be serfs. We're going to be serfs to the elites, and it will never change. Well, I'm not a serf to no elite. I don't pay taxes. Never have. Never paid taxes.
But you do,
right? I don't. What do you mean? Only on things that when I have to pay through VAT. But I don't go out my way paying taxes, fines, and all that.
No matter what you do, no matter what you say, you're still paying tax on everything you do.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not paying tax on.
Put petrol in your car.
Yeah, but I'm not paying tax on my money.
You're not paying tax. What do you mean? Well, it depends where you've got it.
I'm not paying when you go and earn some money and you survive and you go out and you duck, you dive and all that, yeah, and then you don't pay.
You got money in the bank?
No, I don't put money in bank. You fucking buy things.
Here's the thing. Listen, we're gonna close the show down very, very soon. Right. The thing is, we're all saying what we're saying. But there's going to come a time, I think, in the next 6 months, where we're going to see such a change. There is. I don't know what it is, but there is something coming now. With look, even Middle England, even those lovies that these people are being targeted. They're being hurt. When they've got nothing, they're going to have to think outside the box and see.
Hang on, Dave. Hang on. Well, WEF. When you've got nothing, you'll be happier.
That's right, but that's us focusing on their shit.
But that's the world. You're subscribing to their world. When we'll have nothing, won't pay any taxes.
I've cancelled all my tax insurance, my van insurance all cancelled. I'm not sponsored. No, it's not.
See,
it is.
So you're not getting it, Mike. You're not getting it. If you fucking keep yourself out of their system, but we've all got. I'm not being funny. The more of us that takes ourselves out of their system and don't comply with it, the quicker this system crashes and we bring the fucking place down.
I understand and agree with you. The problem you've got is...
But you're willing to carry on. You're willing to carry on, Mike. You're willing to carry on.
Because people are too frightened to take that step.
Well, what do you care about other people? Well, like this is what I'm saying. It's like you've got to take responsibility for yourself, and this is the way it's got to go. Everyone, if you feel like this country is fucked and you've had enough of the way the system is, take responsibility of yourself and pull yourself out of the system and don't fucking deal with them.
That's the only way.
Don't deal with them, and that is it.
But it's not a question of not dealing with them. It's a question of you have to deal with them. One way or the other.
You don't. I've got my whole life without dealing with them.
Hang on. This is getting a bit heated. We're going to end the show very, very soon. Homeless people now has just turned around and said that the German government said it's also going to be martial law from the 1st of October. That could happen. And interestingly enough, the Vatican Bank they've told everyone who deals with the Vatican Bank to get by September the 31st to get all their assets and whatever invested into the Vatican Bank. So there is definitely in this next month or two, there's something really big gonna drop, like really big's gonna drop, and so many people. I personally think they're looking to bring mayhem in. I think there's something just about
definitely. Yeah, definitely. They want to bring in they want to bring it in so everyone's got. There's no food, there's rationing, and then you're gonna go with can I suck on your tit, Mr. Government? Yeah, can I have some rations, please, sir? Like Oliver Twist. Yeah, but
so that's over there, and we've got to walk this. See, this is what I keep saying. I do these shows. We focus on something new. We start our own thing. We get something going. We leave these dirty demonic ones behind, and we
don't play with their system. Fuck it off. Don't play with it. I'm not going down with it. I will never go and suck the government's tit for as long. I'd rather die, than go and suck on that tyrannical government's tit. And if everyone took the same mentality as me, this would soon start. It would stop within 2 weeks.
But that's the point I'm making. While I agree with what you say, the state is the way we're ruled and the government is a complete farce. It's a joke, and it's got to be.
But you've got to worry about your own mental, and your own soul. Yeah, your morality and your soul. Yeah, your soul when you leave this body, right? Then he's looking up at you, and if you're going along, playing along with a tyrannical system and being a part of it, you're not a very strong Christian soldier, mate. At the end of the day, if you're fighting against it because it's tyrannical, and you're not being a part of it, and you're willing to die for the reason of that, then you're righteous.
Let me answer it. What I'm saying to you is quite reasonably, right? Is what I agree with is everything you say, that we've got to sweep away the system. But what I'm saying to you is you've got to replace it with something. You can't just have tyranny. You can't have chaos.
Something new. Well, that's already
tribalism.
While I say every man for himself, there will be anarchy out there. There will be looting. There will be
no.
It won't, because you'll pull in the communities.
The point I'm making is, if that's not to happen, who's going to stop it?
The anarchy's already
the
happening.
people. The people. The people. Like,
Anarchy is already happening because his mate got stabbed between the blades the other week.
I hear you.
Anarchy's already here.
I hear you.
Anarchy's here. It's here.
And there is still a semblance of law and order. A semblance. Not much, but there's still a police force, so-called. We've still got...
but what are they fighting? They're not fighting the right crime, are they? They're fighting hurty words. Yeah? Or you said this about the government. Or you said that. That's all they're interested in. Yeah?
And bailing. And coming
and bailiffs and just coming on like over getting fines for driving and all that. They're not interested in actual real crimes. If it ain't making a pound note, they're not interested.
If I had more time, I could tell you a real story that I know is absolutely true because it's happening to my son-in-law. Okay, about exactly what the police are up to. I told you about the corruption they're up to, and how it's going to come out and destroy one of the biggest crime agencies in the country. And I could tell you,
we all know they're corrupt. Everyone knows they're corrupt. So this
is proven. They've got. We know you could talk about it, so they're totally corrupt, but they've actually got solid proof to destroy it.
But nothing will change in that system. Nothing will change.
But I mean, the thing is, the more people uncover what there is, and a lot of people don't want to believe it. People don't want to face the reality of where we are right now. They don't want to face the truth of no government. They don't want. It's frightening for them.
It's going to smack them right in the face very soon.
You can't say that to a lot of people. The majority of these people in this country are terrified of what's coming. Okay, and
for
someone to lead them. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, they're the ones they're gonna be led to their slaughter, I'm afraid.
I do. I hear what you say. So what I've been trying to say all the way through this is to lead you to a place where you get to a point and say, well, you know, if it got to the point where there's no government at all, you've got tyranny, you've got anarchy. So
we've got that now.
But Mike,
hang on, not to the state where you walk down the street holding a gun to save yourself being shot, so you can shoot back. You know, that's what you're going towards.
Yeah, but look, right. At first, you will get it. It will go it will go mayhem for like a short period, but then people don't put up with that shit, so they'll get into communities, and then they will start policing their own area, not letting the stuff happen. And do you know what I mean? And then if you come and rape some old girl or rape a kid or whatever, the community will get hold of you, and then they'll hold their own little trial. Right, he's guilty, hang him up, and that's how it'll be. Yeah, you don't need the police. That's how we used to have it years ago.
Yeah, it might be how we used to have it. It's not, I can't get my head wrapped around that. I'll have to think about that because while I agree that we need a different way of being governed, I don't think like the.
So what? Hang on, right?
Decide, you're giving people the same. You're giving people the same powers as you want to take away from the government by saying you can hang them up, you can hang them. Because we think you're guilty, we can hang him.
Well, if you've caught the person and he's 100% guilty hanging out the back of a 5-year-old, I'm sure he deserves to go pulled up on the tree.
Yeah, but
if you caught him there and then in the act of doing something right debaucherous, and the community get together and string him up on it, at the end of the day, who's crying?
You're going back to like a rabid mob. You know, which you don't want. You want to.
We've got that now. We've got a rabid mob now.
You've got that running around in fucking Leicester. Go have a look at Leicester. You want about raving mobs
over a cricket match?
I know.
Exactly.
I know.
And the police, and you're saying about the police force, they can't do nothing. They're running from them.
Oh, hang on. Well, yes, they did. No, something they actually did. They got the riot squad up there to go and start break heads. They've arrested. I don't know how many people they've arrested now, but they were arresting people by the dozens at one point.
Pushkin Castle's got it right. You have to build it, create a greener pasture, then they will come. What a time to end a fabulous show. It's been very. It's been a good debate tonight. We've all kept our cool. We've all had our say, and we hope you at home have enjoyed the show. Listen, we do this because we care. We do this because we don't want to see people get stabbed in the back with a carving knife because they want their daughter to come indoors. We do this because we care. We love you. And we implore all of you to come and tell your stories. If you're in the system and you want to come and join the show, if you want to remain anonymous, come in and disguise yourself in whichever way you can and come and tell us how you feel right now with what's going on in the world. Because I'm telling you now, in the next month or two, leading up to Christmas, there is going to be some real things happening where you're going to be having to pay attention. So now's the time to be speaking to all your friends, your families and loved ones, just to prep them up on what is coming. Because if you're forewarned and you're forearmed, if you don't sort yourself out, you've only got yourself to blame. So listen, we do this because we care.
Before we go, I want to ask Mo one question. As you're now captain on the ship, I want you to tell me who Queequeg is.
Who?
Queequeg.
Who?
Queequeg.
Fuck knows.
You might look it up. You might need to find out who Queequeg is. And if you're on next week, I'll tell you who he was. All right.
Queequeg. Right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. We love you all. Please share the show. We'll see you all. We just love you, man. We just love you. Anyway, we're going to see you all soon. I'm going to go out with a puff of smoke now. We'll see you soon next week.
See you later.